window that says preparing to live stream.
I'm hoping it's gonna let you do it. So I have to look.
Looks like it.
Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, you can start letting people in.
Okay. Where did we go? Participants. I don't like this view. Okay.
Me and Loretta, we don't talk much more. She sits and stares at the back door screen. And all the news, it just repeats itself like some forgotten dream. It's one that we both seen. One day I'll go and call up Rudy. We work together at the factory. But what will I say when he asks what's new? Nothing, what's up with you? Nothing much to do. You know that old trees just grow stronger. Old rivers grow out every day. And old people, they just grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say hello in there. Hello. If you're walking down the street sometime and spot some hollow ancient eyes, please don't just pass them by and stare as if you don't care. Say hello in there. Hello.
Summer's ends around the bend just flying. The swimming suits are on the line just drying. I'll meet you there for our conversation. I hope I didn't ruin your whole vacation. Well, you never know how far from home you're feeling until you've watched the shadows cross the ceiling. Well, I don't know, but I can see it snowing. In your car, the windows are wide open. Just come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. Valentines break hearts and minds at random. That old Easter egg ain't got a leg to stand on. Well, I can see that you can't win for trying. And New Year's Eve is bound to leave you crying. Come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. The moon and stars hang out in bars just talking. I still love that picture of us walking, just like that old house we thought was haunted. Summers then came faster than we wanted. Come on home, come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Come on home, come on home. You don't have to be alone. Just come on home.
Hey, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we have a new show on The Village.
And hey, I think we're ready to go. Hey, welcome to Farms Virtual Connections. My name's Charlie Mossbrook. We do this every Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Thanks for being here. We're glad to have you this week's. We are now having sponsors for each of our episodes to keep this going and keep it going strong. And this week we have our sponsor is Michael and Nell. You can find them at michaelandnell.com, where you can find out about their Joe Hill Road Show and all their other projects going on. So be sure to check them out and support our sponsors every week. Next week, we are doing a tech talk on DAWs, digital audio workstations, and I will be running that one. So be sure to keep that in your calendar and check back, and we'll have lots of good talks about home recording and stuff like that. This afternoon, we're going to talk about songwriting, and we've been doing this about a year now, doing our tech talks, and it's about right that after a year of doing this, we come back full circle, and we're hosting our Virtual Connections director. Her name is Annie Capps, of course, and you've met her every single week, a couple times a week throughout the past year, if you haven't known her for many years before that. And we're going to be talking about songwriting with her. She's going to talk about, it's called Masterwriter, I believe. Is that right? Oh, I had all this stuff laid out in front of me, and now, but I think that's correct. Anyway, let me just go ahead and welcome Annie, and she's going to give us our talk, and I'll keep letting people in the room. Here comes another one, and here's Annie Capps.
Hi, everybody. It's sort of weird being on this side of the talks, but it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Um, so, just clarification: we're not actually talking about songwriting so much as a tool for you songwriters, because God forbid I should be the one to tell you all wonderful songwriters about songwriting. But we all are passionate about the subject. So, and I'm really excited about this tool. I've been using Masterwriter for the last 10 years. And to say that I use it exclusively would be a lie, but it when I first got it, this Masterwriter tool, if you're not familiar with it, it started out as an app that you would, or a software program that you would buy and get the CD-ROM in the mail and install it on your computer. And I think at one point I paid again for an upgrade. I think I bought it for $100. Um, they did kind of upgrade some stuff, but like everything in the software universe, it went to a subscription based thing. And that took me a little while to shift over into. And so I finally kind of pulled the trigger when the old version stopped working, which pretty much is true about any software, isn't it? And so yeah, I didn't love it at first. I didn't love the subscription based. It had a lot of bugs, a lot of things that were completely unintuitive, not great. And I let them know, and I kind of put it aside. But then, I don't know, I went back to it, and honestly, everything that was wrong was fixed. I'm not saying it's perfect, but now I'm really, really super excited about it. So let's get right to it. I actually, because I'm more nervous about this than anything I've ever done in my whole life, I had to make myself a what do you call it? What do you call those things? A presentation, so that I could keep myself on point. And can you see this or no? Wait, can you see my master writer screen?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, great. Um, So yeah, just to start with, Masterwriter, it's a tool. It won't make you a great songwriter. That takes work. So let's get the obvious out of the way here first. And these few disclaimers, I do not represent nor am I getting any kickbacks from Masterwriter or its creators. I make no claim that Masterwriter will make you or me a better songwriter, but it can certainly help. And I don't claim that Masterwriter is the only tool of its kind. It's just the one I use, and I've grown really fond of it over the years. I'm not a professional teacher, and I certainly don't claim to know everything about Masterwriter, but seriously, it's not rocket science, and I'm pretty sure you guys will pick it up, and hopefully we'll give it a try. Um, I always think about the what, why, where, when, how of things when I'm trying to do an intro on this. And so, what Masterwriter is a comprehensive tool for songwriters. It's packed with resources and extras that help with composition and organization. Sort of that's the nutshell of it. And why I use it. So this one tool fills the role for me of the word processor, file folders on my computer, the dictionaries, rhyming dictionary and regular, thesaurus, audio recorder, and tons of reference materials. So when do I use it? This is interesting because it varies, but like most songwriters, and I'll get into that briefly in a minute, you know, our songs start either on a recorder, in a notebook, I don't dive into Masterwriter to start composing a song. It usually ends up there at some point in the beginning stages of the writing when I feel like I have something flowing, and then I want to start getting some more help or inspiration. Where it's on the internet, and how does it work? Well, of course, that's what we're here to talk about. What Masterwriter does not do, and like all songwriters, I think what I said is I depend on a lot of external sources to feed the inspiration well. I'm not saying you won't find inspiration in there, and we will get to that. But obviously, I still have an endless supply of books, everything from poetry to inspiration books. Obviously, there's a rhyming dictionary in there. I won't bore you with all that. Music, my magnetic poetry wall, and the endless supply of notebooks, which is where most of my songs start. So once we get done with that, we'll move on. All right. There's my awesome beginning presentation. Whew, got through that. Now we're going to dive right into Masterwriter, but I have to open a new screen share. And let's just get to the landing page. Share. Okay. So masterwriter.com, nice and easy. This will take you to their landing page. And as you can see, they've created this tool to be used for either songwriters or creative writers. So you don't have to be a songwriter. You could be a poet. You could be somebody who does prose, be a journalist, anybody looking for inspiration. And so I'm going to click through on the songwriter thing right here, just because, when you get here, you'll see that there's sort of a little video of a tour and other songwriters that use this and the April giveaway. So I can't win this because I already have one, but you could. God, I sound like I'm shilling for him, but I swear I'm not. No. All right. I just really love this app. I'm sorry. Okay. So obviously I have a subscription already, but if you did not, well, let's take a look at this just so you know, because that's going to be a question. You can either do the monthly, $10 a month. As with everything, if you do the year subscription or 2-year subscription, you save some money. So if you want to just give it a whirl, try the month, see what happens. They give you your money back. They are actually really responsive. At least that's been my experience. So, all right, we're going to log in. This knows me. So here we are. This is my Masterwriter dashboard. Right when you log in, right at the very beginning, you're going to see I'm exposing myself here, people. Exposing a lot. In fact, we're going to expose even more. But you can see the overview here on the right hand side. This is the list of songs that I have in Masterwriter. over the past, this version of it. I have yet to import every last song that was ever in, that I ever wrote, that is in a Word document somewhere on my computer, but this is within the last, I think, couple of years. Over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see folders. They call them groups. I'm in the all songs, but these are just examples of folders that you can make. If you want to categorize your songs to keep organized. I love this for a lot of reasons, but I've learned right off the bat that these categories that I've created are not going to work, because I can't have songs that might have characters and stories that might also be political and social justice, right? I can't, because you can only have the song in one folder, just like you would on your desktop. So this is me getting into sort of the organization aspect of it. You think about, like, I've got a Word document and I save that into a folder, and I've organized a bunch of folders on my desktop. I'm not going to put that same song in multiple different categories, because then I have to go into every one of those versions and edit it. And so this is the same concept here. So, you know, you kind of want to think through this, and I will most likely think about different ways to organize this. But, you know, for me, I've got a solo project that I'm working on. So a lot of my songs end up in here right now. And that's probably going to get weeded out, and I might start moving things around. But the groups right here, if you want to create a new group, let's do it. Song group. So I belong to a songwriting group, so maybe I'll just make a new group for that. And that way, all the songs that were prompts, right now you can see in my title, I've got SS, that's Songsmith. So I could just decide to put all of those songs, I don't know why it's not into, it's just a quick drag and drop. So everything that had an SS, I drag and drop. But as you can see, and it warned me when I dragged that in there that these songs were in a different folder. So I can either say no or yes, but it's going to move it. So those are now no longer my solo project. But I think that's pretty clear. But if you have any questions, we'll get to that. But right here at the top, new song. If you want to make a new song, click right here. I'm not going to do that right now. Dictionaries. Here we go. This is where the whole kit and caboodle lives, but I rarely click on dictionaries from the main page and start going in here. Usually I get into the dictionaries when I'm in the middle of a song. So I'm not going to elaborate on all this right now. I just wanted to show you what that does. And then over here you can see the sort by. Right now these are sorted by the date they were modified. If I changed it to created, it will also change the date over here. I just pointed like you can see me point, like that. And then you can also sort alphabetically. I like to keep it by modified, but you know, if I'm looking for a particular song that I was working on that, you know, is down here, it's gonna take me to it. So you've got lots of search options. And then over here on the far right, you've got export. Probably the one thing that's a little not great, you can click this export button. And now you can, if you want to back everything up, or maybe you decide after a while you're not going to use this, but you want to save everything that you've had. You click here, you get everything, lyrics, we'll get to audio, and you click export. It's going to open a file, it's going to create a zip file for you. So this is taking a few seconds. It's going to create a zip file, and that you'll just save somewhere. And in that zip file is going to be the audio files, but also the HTML file. It's not a Word document or a text document. It's just an HTML document with your text in it. That's not a big deal. You can open an HTML file in pretty much any text editor. So just so you know, it's just a little wonky. All right, let me make sure I'm following my notes here. Right. Okay, good. I mean, I think that's fairly clear. Not a whole lot to unpack, but let's dig into a song. I would click on new song, but that's just going to be obvious. So we're just going to use this little latest nugget of mine as an example. Okay. What did I do, you guys? Um, my, my lyrics are gone. It's all right. I know what those words are, but that's eerie. That's eerie. Okay. We're going to use this one instead. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I had a plan. I had a plan for that one. But it's okay. So you're going to see this big white space over here. When you open, this is a song. This is where your song lives. These little tools expand, contract your window view. There's a save button here. If you want to change the title, you can just click right in here, change the title. You can use this save, but you don't need to. This is a real-time app. So if I make any edits to this, it's just real time. I can go log in on another computer and that edit will show up. That is really a great benefit of this, actually, is that I have, I can be down in my basement here at this station. I can be on my iPad in a browser. I can be on my computer upstairs in my writing room, wherever, and open up these songs that will be in whatever state I left them in. These three dots here, some obvious. You can print your lyrics. You can show spell check. I have Grammarly installed on most of my computers, which I don't know if anybody's using that. It's both great and terribly annoying. And then you've got show format. Here, if you like to make things look pretty, which I don't use very often, but if you're going to use this to print out and you want to bold some things or, you can do some formatting. So, right. And then down at the bottom here, these tools are really interesting. So here you've got info. Now, if we had my sample song ready to go, there would be things in here. But we can go ahead and, like, this is notes. This was a Songsmith assignment, or prompt, whatever. This is just whatever notes you want to put. Society. Somebody can probably clarify this for me. I kind of wanted to put BMI over here, but I'm guessing BMI goes here, and the name of my publishing company would go here. If I have a co-writer, I can add them here. I don't. This is where I can put the key of my song. I would have to think a little too hard right now. I think it's E minor. The tempo, if you're one of those people like me who sometimes starts a song too fast and you want to have a good idea of where it lives when you go to record it, you can record your ideal tempo in here. The style of the song, moody folk, the status, where it's at, this one's done, time signature. And down here, again, if I wanted to move it into a different group, I can do that from here as well. So that's neat. This one right here is really awesome. And again, I don't have the sample audio in here, but all I would have to do is sit at any computer that has a microphone, click record, and this is going to ask me, and I will allow. And as you can see right now, it's already counting. It's already recording. It gives me 20 minutes of audio, which I would rarely use, but I could record my sample right here, and it's going to save it. And so in several of my songs, I've got multiple versions, where I first start out and where I end up. Those of you who are using your phones to record your audio, that's great. You can actually import that audio once you've got the song in here. So I can just drag and drop or click and go look for it. So I love this feature a lot. Then I don't have, I think what I'm hopefully demonstrating is that, there's multiple tools we use as songwriters. And though it's not going to completely replace them, it is nice to have this consolidated spot to keep all your notes and your audio recordings and drafts. There's versions. So depending on how you are as a writer, how you're writing, if you are co-writing and you want to keep one version that's yours and then create a second version of that same song that has the co-writer's info in it, you can make multiple versions of the songs. And you can do that one of two ways. Either click up here in new version. If you do this, it's going to give you a blank page. Okay. Here's your original version. You could go in here, copy and paste and drop it into that version. I actually prefer to just click here and say duplicate. And now I'm just going to go version 2. or version co-write or whatever it is. And now I've got a second version here, and you'll see which one you're working on that I can make edits to. So clear enough, and share. Finally, you've got share. If you want to share the link of the music, if you want to record a whole sample, and again, if you're a co-writer, this is a really great way to share the version that you're working on, send it off, just enter the email. I mean, this is all really, really self-explanatory. Type who you're going to send it to, your address here, and I did do a test of this. You don't have to include the audio, but you can. And once you do it, you click send, it's going to send if it's the audio and the song, it's going to send a zip file with that and an HTML file that anybody can open. So we'll be done with that. Now let's get to the fun stuff. Again, I had a really great rhyme ready to go, and I think I'm just going to use it because from the other song that was missing. But what you'll do here is you're in the song. Let's just say I want to rhyme door. Okay. I highlight the song or the word, click on rhymes, and over here, you're going to get 3 pages of words, perfect rhymes with door. You have the option to go wider, widest. You have choices of syllables. As you can see, there's multiple syllables and so many words that rhyme with door. But as you're going through these, you can just go, okay, the word whore goes with my song. It really doesn't, but I just suddenly popped out, there's a word. And you just double click on it and you'll see that it gets italicized. And this is you just kind of looking through the rhyming dictionary going, oh, wow, rapport, that's a cool word to use in a song. Mostly what you're going to do is kind of look through this and see, I don't need to tell you how to write a song, but what goes with the flow of your song, what works with your song thematically. And as I said, you can go wider and just kind of keep picking words, right? And then ultimately, you're going to come over here, and these are words that I did searches on. So door, these are the words I found. So I can try. Here's a whole bunch that goes with down and upstairs. These were my collected words. That's where you're going to find those. You'll see over here phrases, last word, and the world. You can go from just rhymed words to phrases. Now these are phrases that the last word of the phrase rhymes with door. Okay, 6 pages worth. You can have a lot of fun just digging through this. This is just going to be the last word is door. And when you get to the world, this is just looking at pop culture, any kind of proper nouns and names of people that are going to rhyme with door. You can do the same thing by just clicking phrases up here. And this is going to be a little bit different, I think, when we get to the world. So I'm going to just go across. And now we can click on word families. And this is why, for some reason, word families doesn't work for every single word, but I'll explain what that looks like in a minute. So this says try synonyms. Synonyms is your thesaurus, right? So here's all your options for door, options, alternatives, the definition of a door. Oddly enough, sometimes you get inspiration there. Speech types. So here's the fun. Alliterations. So everything that begins with D. And then you can bop around with your subgroup of an alliteration if you want to do that. So every word that you can think of that begins with a D is now sitting in here. I love the rest of these, and we're just going to quickly click through them. Once you get into, I want you to notice up here we've got the search term, what we're working off of, the word door. But over here to the right, you've got, as soon as I click on allusions, that goes away. Allusions, idioms, intensifiers, metaphors. I mean, who doesn't love onomatopoeia? I mean, I had to look that up. Oxymorons, similes. None of these have the door in them. These are all the same, no matter what word you're looking up. So, I don't know. This is just a big, huge, crazy reference. but the alliterations are going to be associated with your word. And then finally, the world. Now, again, the word you're searching is gone, but right over here, we've got categories. So if you click on people, now you've got a subcategory. You click on actors. Now you've got 6 pages of actors' names, right? I mean, here's 6 pages of artist names. If you're looking for some fine artist, or unknown artist for that matter, famous events, famous people. This is a hoot to sit here and go through. I love this. We've got musicians, blues, British rock. I mean, you guys, seriously. I don't need to click on all these. Writers. And again, you've got options for syllables. If you're looking for writers that, to fit into a 3-syllable sentence, space you're trying to fill. Places. You've got cities, countries, deserts. So if you want to throw a place in there, maybe look for some ideas outside of the typical ones that might be used. But airlines. Okay. Things. Another really, really super fun one. Like, why would I look up corporate America? But here you've got brand names. Again, very specific, but I love this drugstore. Crest, CoverGirl. Sorry. I don't know. The Bible. I mean, who doesn't need a Bible as a reference? You've got the Old Testament, the New Testament. Click on it, and there you have your Bible text at your fingertips. And finally, Wikipedia. Here's Wikipedia. You'll notice that the search just showed up. So let's just search folk music. Now you've got your Wikipedia right here in your app. So I think it's kind of fun. See if you want to get a little more information. Okay. I actually believe that I have covered the breadth of this app, and I hope that I have shown you how really, really potent it is and powerful it is. It's possible I have left some things out, but, to me, it's a really intuitive but robust app that can, as far as I'm concerned, it can help you just really grow your ideas, I'm one of those people that sometimes I'll get on a roll, but I'll get stuck. Or I just I have these kind of go-to things that pop into my head and I need inspiration from someplace else. And sure, I'm going to use the internet, and sure, I'm going to go pick up a poetry book, but there is so much in this app all by itself. And rhyming dictionaries are super fun, but they, digging through the pages and, I think Charlie, once you mentioned Rhyme Zone. And, that's just another place on the internet you got to go. Whereas this right here is a really accessible tool. So I really got to find out what happened to that song. But anyway. All right. There we go. I made it. I think in less than 30 minutes, maybe 25. I'm pretty sure. But
Yay.
I hope.
Yeah, about 25 minutes.
Yeah, I really hope you guys see how fun this is. I love this app. I love to be organized. I love to have all my songs in front of me, where if I just want to sit down and start poking through them and go, it is as easy as clicking on this button and seeing. And I don't always put my chord changes in here, but I've started doing that because, I don't have so much brain space. But I mean, I've even got, I wanted to show you this. I've got this notes and snippets. So if I want to start transcribing things, I've got a bunch of note paper that I've just got a couple of lines here and there. I like to transcribe those things and have those inserted. I've just started doing that. So that's it. I'm opening it up for discussion, question, contradiction.
Yeah. Well, we've got 3 questions or 2 questions here in the chat. I don't know if you can see those. But well, let me just right off the bat say things that jumped out at me that I really like. I liked integrating the recording function within I can't do that in Word. That's jumping to a whole nother app, and that's complicated. Is there an iPad or Android app available?
No.
No? Okay.
No, and not at the moment. But I mean, first of all, I would never want to do any of this on my phone. So
Hmm.
I don't see the point. I think that was their thing. But on my iPad, I open a browser and I use it on my iPad all the time.
Okay. And then what were my the other things that I really liked was syllable count, which isn't something I've ever really found in another area. And the idea, I didn't see if being able to check out Bible references, does that include all kinds of different literary references like Greek mythology or Shakespeare or, I don't know, Native American literature? I don't know how deep it gets, but I think that's really very, very cool because, I mean, that's.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's like, so if you get into people, and honestly, I haven't done a lot of digging over here yet. It was
Hmm.
preparing for this talk when I started going into the world. Um, and I was like, oh, I forgot they have this, you know, they have the Bible in here. Um, but, you got to have kind of a specific purpose for kind of
Yeah.
this thing, but certainly the Wikipedia thing. And the fact that this is a browser, can I just say I can open up a new tab, do any kind of searching I want to do really
Hmm.
right here easily enough, if I'm looking for other sorts of, and this in no way is going to replace any of every resource that you're going to want.
No, but bringing it all together is pretty helpful. Okay, so here's Robert Campbell's question. He says, "Is 20 minutes per sample or per song? Is it 20-minute bits or 5 minute?" Robert, I wonder if you could maybe clarify this question a little bit. We've got a small group, so I don't see a problem with people somewhat opening up. Do I have to unmask you?
Unmute.
I guess unmasking is not something we want to talk about these days. It
No.
actually is Ruth. It wasn't Max. I'm now noticing who's here. Okay.
Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. I'm asking. Okay, Robert, if
Hi.
you could clarify your question.
Am I there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Hi. When you save your recordings with the song,
Mhm.
you said 20 minutes. Is that a 20? So I can sing for 20 minutes and save that, and then sing for another 20 minutes and save that, and sing for another 20 minutes, and they're all in there? Or is it like?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask that. I honestly don't know because I've never done any recording that was more than,
Yeah. No. My concern was if I had 7 or 8 versions and it was over 20 minutes, do they get capped or whatever? That was just another thing. And if I may, one other quick question. So I do a lot of co-writing in Google Docs. So and I may have missed this because I had to rush out. I'm at work, so I had to actually do some work. With Google Docs, you and I can be in the document at the same time, actually actively writing together. Can you do that with this?
I do not think so. No. No, but you could probably both have access to each other's Masterwriter um,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
at your app. But that's a great question, actually. But if you think about it, you can be working on that co-write in the Google Doc, and each of you could be sort of dropping your version in when it's done. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Fair
do
enough.
co-writing, so I'd like to change that, but right now it's been a very
Yeah.
slow effort for me. So
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, thank you. It's good to see it in action. I do mostly co-writing, like 80% now. So yeah. Cool. Thank you.
there's
Okay,
nothing
thanks, Robert.
in the tools as well, right? Like, so you've got, if you've got your document over here and you just, it's easy enough to copy and paste in here, make different versions, do your, bouncing around with rhyming dictionary and whatnot and keep your audio recordings of it. But, yeah. And it's going to be something you try. Yeah.
Mike Green asks, "Can you talk about functionality with actual music, chords, etc.?" So I'm guessing this means sort of, can you open up tablature or dropping chords directly in?
Yeah, no, I'm afraid that this is probably pretty rudimentary in terms of how you would kind of keep track of your chord changes. Uh, to to write a tablature or a chart. Like I said, with this one right here, for example, part of the reason I'm going to keep a recording is because I want to remember how I did something. And so oftentimes my recording is going to be me talking through a little bit of what the intro lick sounds like, perhaps, or, um, um, but yeah, as you can see, even the alignment here of the chords isn't correct until right, I think I copied and pasted this from a Word document,
So
but
that functions just like Word.
yeah,
You
exactly.
have to sit there and hit the space bar to get it where you want it.
Line it up exactly.
Right.
I haven't done properly here, but so yes, right now there's no tablature. Nothing's to stop you from making a tablature document in here, but that's not.
And then Mike adds on to that question: are there notations for sharps, flats, etc.?
Mm-mm. Well, I mean, no, you mean in the formatting,
Yeah,
special characters and such, you know,
nothing like
same
that.
as
Okay.
Word documents, any word processor kind of thing. So,
And Kathy Johnson, hello, Kathy.
Mike,
Um, do you do most of your songwriting on Masterwriter or transfer songs and song ideas from somewhere else, like a physical notebook? She asks.
yes, totally transfer stuff. I do not start songs in Masterwriter. I almost always, I've got a notebook. I sit down, and I've got multiple notebooks, but sometimes ideas are on scratch pads. And that little picture I showed you in the beginning was actually my mess. I have file thing that's got drawers full of scratch pads and notes and ideas that came out of different notebooks and napkins and yeah. And then when I start actually sort of writing, I like to write by hand. Um, but I ultimately get into, just like I always did with a Word document before this came along for me, ultimately I would end up in a Word document. That's not to say I've never started on a Word document, but most of the time I'm working in a notebook and getting my idea down. This happens as I start getting to the editing process, for sure. But sometimes it happens before I've written the second verse. So,
Well, those are all the questions that have been texted in the chat to me. Do we want to open this up for just an open to conversation now for maybe 20 minutes or so?
sure,
That's good.
anxious to hear what people think of this. Just like you don't have to have a question. Just let me know if you raise your hand if you think it's something you might try. If it's something that is like just too clinical for your method and if you're really set in your ways. Like I said, I've been using this for 10 years and it has not been 100% my go-to until this latest version when I started just really getting comfortable with how it works. And I just mostly really just love the resources and the rhyming, options. And so,
Carlene Watt asks, can you upload an iTunes file for older songs?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, okay, well, let me talk about this too, because this is a downside of this. Unless, like, the only thing I can import here in terms of songs is an older master writer, like, backup from their software days. So I have hundreds and hundreds of Word documents on my computer of older songs, things that never went anywhere that I'm gradually importing into here because if I want to keep working on them. But I'm not spending a lot of time working on things that are so old that I don't care so much about it. Um, but there was a point when I first decided that I was really going to go all in with this, where I don't know, it was like early last year, maybe somewhere around March. These are not in order, but the day created, if you copy something from a Word document that you made in 1999 into here, it's going to show the date you created the file in here. So it is going to, you know, you want to keep that in mind. That date created is just the date that you created this document, not the date you created the song. So you can put that kind of stuff in the notes. Yeah. Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, Kathy Johnson asks, if you transfer a song from Masterwriter to a Word file, does the formatting stay the same? Good question. That's a great question.
Oh
I
my
guess
God.
those chords could move all over the place.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna do it right now. You ready? But formatting. So let's just try something. Okay. Well, first of all, I don't even have a title here. Well, maybe I do. Okay, because really all you're gonna do is copy and paste it. You're not gonna export it. If you export it as an HTML file, and I do a bunch of formatting, I would imagine that's gonna stay. But let's just say I'm gonna call this. There's my title. Let's
So it is saved as HTML as opposed to a doc.
Well, what if you export? That's the only way out. Otherwise,
Okay.
printing or you're copying and pasting. But if to your point, I go, okay, let's make this text really big and that font something else. Oh God, not Comic Sans. Um, right. And now I don't know, that's a simple enough formatting. Copy. Hang on. I think I got Word in here somewhere. Oh, I'm on my Mac. Maybe I don't. Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Try it though and let you know. But I'm assuming some of it will, but you never. Oh, I can do it in a Google Doc. Hang on. Yep. You want to see? Yep. So the formatting that I just did by making that font bigger, all saved. And you can see here, I'll do a quick share. See? And it even spread out my text. So, so yeah, formatting stays.
Very cool.
I love when that's
That's helpful.
well, it is, especially if you're going to do things like, and I don't know. I mean, I think if you want to make a Word document out of this, it's easy enough to copy and paste and drop it into a Word document and then turn it into a PDF. You can also, okay, so here's another. If you go to print this file, if you've got Acrobat on your computer, you should be able to print to a PDF, save as PDF. So you've got that option as well. So, and as you can see, when I print, it's saving the format. Um,
I'm
oh,
going to unmute
can't
Kathy
even see
here.
this. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing my screen anymore.
That's
But yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Hi, who's talking?
That was Kathy.
Yeah, did you say earlier that you were going to let us unmute ourselves?
Oh, well, I think you have to get asked to be unmuted.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just having trouble unmuting myself. That's okay. So does this work? Does Masterwriter work equally well whether you're on a PC or on a Mac?
Yeah, I'm on a Mac right now, and I got a PC upstairs. So
Okay.
we're a multi-platform household here at the Caps
Yeah.
Click.
And I assume since it's browser based, that would also work in Linux and whatever other platforms you're rolling with.
Yeah, I love that it's browser based. I mean, I suppose if you're concerned about security, I mean, I can't speak to that. You have to log in, so change your login regularly. But yeah, I haven't. I mean, it's been reliable. It's been like I've never had a crash. I've never had any issues with this. Um, and again, for me, I can only stress that what I love about it is how much is compacted into this one app. So rather than have my Word document open over here and my browser open with the rhyming dictionary or the Wikipedia and my rhyming dictionary on my desk, I've got just a wealth of information. And I can honestly say that as a songwriter, I don't deep dive into a lot of those tools very often. I think they're pretty cool and I might start now, but I didn't even realize how much was there, to be honest, until I started researching for this. So, so yeah. Is there anybody in the room right now who is using it already or has tried it? And I mean, I'm really curious to know.
Put your hand up, the
Put your
little blue
hand up if
hand.
you're like, you know, well, this was a nice hour, but
Now Nell had her hand up.
Oh, I don't see it, but okay. Oh, there is a hand. Oh, I see. Now, what do you have to say? Let's ask to unmute now.
Hey, okay. So I tried it for a while, but I kind of got, overwhelmed, to tell you the truth. It seemed like it was just, kind of too much, to figure out, to be honest with you. So my question for you, so I had a subscription for a while, but then I decided, okay, I'm not using this, so I let it lapse. So my question is, how long did it take for you to really become comfortable with using this? I mean, but you're probably a hell of a lot more tech savvy than I am. But did it take a while? Because I got discouraged.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, like I mean, I always say, any kind of tech, whatever it is, isn't for everybody. And yeah, I'm very comfortable on a computer setting. I word processor, you name it. I mean, I'm very computer savvy. That said, I've found, like I said earlier, the software that I bought. I used it periodically, but I didn't really go all in until this latest version on the because I had kind of similar issues. I found it a little clunky and not great. Okay, I can organize. This is cool. I use the rhyming dictionary. Um, but this I thought was really simple. Like I didn't have it was super intuitive to be able to just I keep thinking I'm still sharing my screen, you guys, and I'm doing things over here demoing for you. This is why I should be on the other side of them anyway.
I'm sorry.
This has been really fun. So
What can I do to
no,
make this easier for you?
no,
No?
I'm just teasing you. I'm gonna show.
Oh, okay.
I just was saying that all I was doing. No, you're doing a great job, Charlie. All I was doing, I just kept going over here and doing things on my screen, and I realized you guys weren't seeing what I was talking about. Um, so now, did you try this version?
Well, let's see, I had it, I probably dropped it about a year ago, so maybe it was, how long has this version been out?
I've had this one for a little over a year. I mean, I think.
Might have been an earlier version and, it was recommended and I tried it, but, maybe I'll give it another try.
I totally get it, and all I can say is like everything, it's not for everybody. If you've got a process that's working for you, I'll tell you just theoretically, in terms of songwriting in general. How can I say this without making it sound like um I I've written I've been writing songs for a long, long time, and I started out as a songwriter just completely everything in my head, what came out, I wrote, I, and I didn't start really digging into what I would consider to be the craft where I really cared about every single word and all of that mattered to me. And while I try really hard, I'm, just my own writing process is constantly evolving, but um the I guess we don't really need this anymore. The um the idea of putting extra effort in and looking for options. I mean, even when I'm really super happy with something, that's great. I'm also part of a lot of songwriting groups where we critique each other's work and get feedback. And I might think something's working perfectly, and they're like, I don't get that. So, these kinds of tools provide me that. And I love like digging deep and looking for options and unusual words. And those don't come out at the top of my head. I need them. I need things, resources in front of me. And um, yeah, so I mean, I find it just really helpful. It's all in how you use it, of course. But
Yeah, I can appreciate that. 'Cause we used to have these songwriting groups here in Nashville. We had a group did the Artist's Way, and we met every couple of weeks. We critiqued each other's songs. I mean, it was great. I learned. That's how I learned really the craft, at least the way it's taught here in Nashville of songwriting.
Yeah.
So
There's a question about you, real quick about subscription. You keep mentioning subscription. So how much does a subscription cost? And
$10.
are there levels of like, if you pay this much, you get this many tools. If you pay that much, it's just one flat deal.
$10, yeah.
Yeah, the full
Um,
right now, the full app is available for $10 a month, or
This is Corky.
Mm-hmm.
so,
they offer
so,
specials all the time.
That's the deal with this now.
Okay, go ahead.
Now.
so the different levels. Let's mute. All right. So the different levels are based on whether or not you want to pay by month, by year, by 10-year package. My question, and Kathy sort of asked the same questions, are there different versions? But my question is, looking at the website, there's a songwriter version and a creative writer version. Does one license cover both areas if you wanted to use the creative writing version?
That's a very good question because I've never logged in. I'm kind of assuming that they just use different terminology.
Hmm.
I don't know. I haven't. Uh, let's see. Let's log out.
I mean, we worry about syllable count and rhyming and stuff like that, whereas a creative writer might
But
not care about that as much.
I mean, if you're a haiku writer, you care,
Oh, yeah.
right? So, I mean, I think let me see. Where's the home page? Take me back to home and creative writer. We could click and take the tour. I see the similar things. I don't see rhyme.
Okay.
But it looks like maybe even just rhymes aren't in there. I mean, if I'm reading this correctly, it's word families. No, rhymes are in there. It's just in a different spot. It's not as important apparently as.
But you have full access to it?
No, I don't. I'm reading this
Okay.
on their website on the land page that says take a tour. Like if you click create, if you go back to the main page
Hmm.
and you click on the landing and you click creative writer, you can see the take a tour button. And yeah, I mean, they've got names of famous people that use these. I don't know if you guys are familiar with John Vesner. I kind of think, I'm pretty sure that he's the one who mentioned it. And this was at a songwriting, sorry, not a songwriting, at a Folk Alliance workshop or panel or something. I think it came up. And I had just started using it. And I think I asked him specifically about the app and how he used it. And at the time it was a disk that you stuck in your computer and installed as a software program. So, this being web-based allows them to constantly update that information really easily. So I think it's better. But yeah, he made the same kind of comment where he just sort of used it afterwards to organize his songs. He didn't necessarily use it while he was writing. So, I'm sorry, we went back to that, but basically the idea of the creative writer, um, I think it's, I think it's the same. I would imagine it's the same. That said, I don't know if you're a songwriter that you can click into the creative writer and go and log in. Ooh, hey, let me try. Sorry. I was like, I don't know if you can do it, but wait, I can try it. I just want to see if anything changes. But no, it just brought up mine. That's
Okay.
it. So I guess you have to identify yourself. So
Cool. Kathy writes or asks, do you feel comfortable with the security?
I've never really thought about it.
You've never been hacked through it. It's not been a
No,
problem.
I mean, if somebody's stealing my songs and, I'm doing that, whatever. People steal my songs all the time. Lyle Lovett steals my songs. I forgot to write it down.
I didn't realize it until the record came out and thought I better finish that
I
song.
had that song in my head. I just forgot to do anything with it. Sorry, guys.
I wrote church. Cool. And do we have any more questions, or do we want to jump into an open conversation where anybody have any comments or anything? I can't see that part of my thing to see people's hands.
You can unspotlight me now.
Okay, how do I do that?
Here,
Unspotlight, no.
because your view is what everybody's going to see. And now
Oh, okay.
change it to gallery view.
How did I lose this? I'm so confused all of a sudden.
I mean, I can change.
Remove spotlight. There we go.
So now you're on speaker view, and so you're spotlighted out there on the Facebook land, but that's okay too. So you
I'm
can,
on speaker view.
yeah. So
Yes.
to
Okay, how do I? For some reason, my whole window changed here, and I can't figure out what I've done here.
in the upper right, you just I don't know if you've got participants.
No, my upper right is doing some weird things. I've got the participant window open separately. Huh.
Well, it's okay. It's fine to look at you now for a little while, Charlie Mossberg.
I don't want it. I'd rather you all see yourselves. Oh, I see what's going on here.
Well, everybody has you guys, you can change your view, right?
There we go.
I'm gonna.
What's that?
So now I'm in gallery view. I don't know if we are out there or not, but thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you hanging out. It was fun to share.
Thank you. It's very interesting.
I think it's an awesome tool. You all, you're all great songwriters. I can tell just by looking in this room. So whatever you're doing, keep doing. So.
Thanks.
Okay.
Let's all give Annie a big hand and thank her for sharing her knowledge. Yeah.
You're so welcome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. So thank you all for joining us this week for our Tech Tuesday talk with Annie. Next week, I will be the expert talking about DAWs, digital audio workstations. So if you're interested in that and you've got questions, or you probably have a stronger, more solid knowledge base than I, join in and help keep that conversation going and well. Thursday, we have our emotional support group at 2:00. We've had a few of those, and they're really nice meetings, and it's good to give everybody an opportunity to just check in once in a while, because it's been a long, lonely year for many of us. And thank goodness we have virtual connections, because it's helped to alleviate a lot of that loneliness for me. Keeps me engaged, and I get to hang out with Annie a few times a week. And the rest of you.
Yeah, and lots of you. So
Yeah.
can I just chime in, Charlie, and say,
Please do.
Thank you, as always. You're a charming host. Thank you for taking that role today. And I just want to say, if there's anybody here who's here for the first time and you're not on our mailing list, please do go to farmfolk.org and check in. And I just want to add that it looks like Mike Green sent me a direct message. He said he's going to give it a try. John McCutcheon has been using this for a while, and he loves it. So I would say that's a high testimony. Much more than me. But yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming up, don't we, Charlie?
We do, and we're constantly brainstorming, daydreaming, and everything else to try to come up with more ways to keep us all involved, engaged, and educated as to all that we have to do to continue on through this weird paradigm that we're going through.
You know that I wonder if I think I can bring back the host duties, but we can probably all wave goodbye to the live stream world. I don't know if they need to have.
All right.
Then we can farewell.
So long, live stream world.
So long, live stream world. See ya. All right, guys. Well, thank you for bearing with me. That was a little nerve-wracking.